month. If you were watching the live yesterday, you already would have got a bit of a rundown, but let's talk about it again. Your ruling planet Mercury entered the sign of Cancer on the 1st of June. What does this mean for you? Virgo, until Mercury goes into retrograde on the 29th, this period, this bubble of time really is this period of romance, okay? Put the rose tinted glasses on. Life is going to be very nurturing, very motherly, very sweet, very much there to support and encourage you. More so than ever throughout the year, this time really for you may feel like you're being cradled in motherly love. Please take advantage of it. Hi everybody, welcome. Lots and lots of love to you. Thank you so much for joining us so much. As I was saying, Mercury in Cancer, it's going to feel like you're literally being cradled in the womb of the earth. It's such a nurturing time for you. You will have this period of time where you can literally focus on creating stability and security within yourself. This is that time of the year where the self-talk gets a lot kinder than it may have been previously. With Venus moving into the sign of Leo on the 13th, this is the sign just before your sign. When Venus moves into a certain sign, that sign naturally, the finances begin to get better, they begin to look better, they begin to financially feel a lot more relief, which then reflects on how they're kind of being perceived by the rest of the world. Now, this is the prelude to before Venus goes into your sign in about a month's time or so. I really want you to charge in on the partial spotlight, okay? Really take this opportunity to see the possibility that you can begin to nurture yourself so that you're looking better, which means you reign over the domain of the stomach. When Venus goes into your sign, not only do you begin to look better and feel better, and it also translates in your money also, but it also has a lot to do with how your nervous system is processing things that have been going on around you, okay? So if recently you may have been feeling a little bit nervous because of all of this Geminian energy, there is now this kind of phase that you'll be moving into where you'll be feeling a lot more calmer within your body. What I really want to suggest to you, by the time that Mercury goes into retrograde on the 29th, and by the time the Sun enters Cancer on the 21st, really see what it is that you can do to focus on your nervous system, okay? Mars moves into Gemini. Anything that you may have been tackling in terms of what's been a bit of a battle for you, it takes less of a physical toll on you, and you now get more of an intellectual edge over whatever it is that's been going on in your life. Mercury retrograde begins on the 29th in the sign of Cancer. Why is this important for you? Mercury retrograde for any Mercurial is never a bad thing. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. For anyone outside of that Mercury realm, I can't speak on their behalf. Mercury doesn't actually go backwards, it stops. Now, for a lot of Mercurials who move really quickly, and you can see that in how their life transpires, right? They're doing things a lot more quickly or achieving things a lot more quickly than a lot of their peers. When Mercury goes into retrograde in the sign of Cancer, what this is giving you is the ability to just slow down for a minute and really reflect over how you may have been nurturing your inner child. How have you been parenting yourself? How have you been looking after your kids? How have you been looking after your home and family? Can you really say that you've been nurturing the self up until now? If there has been a deficit in the way that you're caring for yourself, this Mercury retrograde is the time that you go out and you buy all of the needed supplements. You go out and buy all of the things that you need for your health. This is the time that you go and get your hair cut. This is the time that you redo all of the things that make you feel super nurtured and super comfortable in your life. On the same day that Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of the mother, in the sign of Cancer, where you're really being forced to look at how it is that you nurture yourself and how you take care of yourself, there is a full moon in the sign of Capricorn. This is the full moon of the father, okay? This is also one of those really nurturing aspects where you'll be able to look over all of the roles and responsibilities that you've had in your life up until now, and how it is that you are really taking care of number one throughout all of it, okay? Here is the biggest thing that's happening after Jupiter had gone into Cancer. On the 30th of June, Jupiter now moves into the sign of Leo. Again, a lot of these planets are preparing to go into your sign, which is instantaneously going to transpire as really good luck for you, Virgo. So Whilst Jupiter is in Leo, I want you to prepare. While Venus is in Leo, I really want you to prepare. While Mercury is doing its little dance in Cancer also, really prepare on how you look after yourself. This is what this time is all about. Now, Virgo, if you want to get the benefits of the reading, please make sure you've hit the like button and you've hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, the reading slips through your fingers. Virgo, June 2026, are you ready? If you want to book a reading, email me rubyreadstarot@hotmail.com. All right, Virgo, June 2026. You are welcome. If you are a Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and even if you don't have Virgo in your chart, you are still welcome. Although Virgo does like this to be a little VIP private space, and I have to honor that also. All right, so Virgo, June 26. What does Virgo need me to tell Virgo? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. That's the Eight of Swords, and that is the Star card. That Sag Moon rocked you. I really enjoyed that Sag Moon, I have to say. I really enjoyed it. The Star card and the Eight of Swords. Virgo, as we go into June, you know all of the things that may have been sat on your conscious for a really long time that kind of held you back. All of the things that you may have done deliberately to self-sabotage, all of those things that you know that you can excel on, but you haven't necessarily been excelling on because the energy just wasn't there within you. I love that in a good way. I'm a Sag Moon and I was very I love that energy. I love that fiery Sag Moon energy. I'm a Sag Rising, so I totally get it. I'm glad you had a good weekend. Virgo, there is a self-made prison, a self-made limitation, analysis paralysis, something that's run its course. There is somewhere where you've held yourself back, where you're now being told, right, you know all those limitations that you may have put on yourself, that's kind of getting blown completely out of the water now, because what you're now stepping into in the month of June is a lot of dreams being achieved. Virgo, hit that like button if you wish to receive this message. Otherwise, it slips through your fingers. The month of June for you is an expansion where you are literally reaching the stars. This weekend, this Sag Moon weekend, literally were the gunshots to literally set off the hot girl summer. Now, when I say there are certain things that you've put yourself in, certain places that you binded yourself into, that storyline can no longer run, it can no longer work. There is something here that's saying, Virgo, anywhere that you put limitations on yourself, anywhere where you've told yourself you can't, anywhere you've told yourself this is your little pen here and you've got to play within the realms of this limitation, you've kind of got to break the walls on that, because there is somewhere where you're expanding massively, Virgo. June is going to be such an abundant, expansive, I even want to say explosive, Aquarian energy all over this. You've got to think outside of the box, Virgo, and this box, you've outgrown it. Frankly speaking, you've outgrown this box. There's nowhere else you can go with this. You're going to have to wriggle out of those very loosely binded ropes, take off the blindfold, and understand that you can sneak through those swords anytime you want to. You can no longer use you being afraid to be out in the spotlight as an excuse, Virgo, for you not to reach your full potential. And there is this fieriness within you, and I'm so glad, Wendy, that you shared that with us, because a lot of us have needed that Sagittarius fiery fire horse energy to literally run out of the gates. I'm telling you, Virgo, if you're here, if you want to receive this message, if you've subscribed, if you hit the thumbs up button, there is somewhere where you are now outgrowing every scene and scenario that has been playing out up until now. For a lot of you, this is a massive expansion in ways that you may not have even thought possible for yourself. June is showing you every limitation that you put on yourself is fake. It doesn't exist. June is showing you that if you're willing to remain in the flow, Virgo, tap in, Virgo, claim this. That's the Sun card. You're riding off into the sunset. This is a victorious month for you, Virgo. June is you winning out big time. Winning out in such a way that you're riding off into the sunset and you're not even looking back. There is growth. There is renewal. There is a confidence and an excitement that is back in your life after a period of a lot of dark energy. After, I want to say, a dark night of the soul, Virgo. There is somewhere now where the limitations, where the previous hurts and the heartaches of the past cannot follow you. They can't go forward, Virgo. You are riding off. Look, I literally just put the deck down. That is the Empress, and that is the Ace of Cups. And there is that fire horse energy with the King of Wands. I'm going to take this because I like where this is going. Virgo, can we just look at the stark contrast of where you've been? And a lot of that had to do with how you were thinking. And where you've been so plugged into that it had to create a prison, almost like a limitation, a barrier that you couldn't necessarily cross because you may have been blindfolded to the fact that you were literally being hooked into and drained. What happens after a phase of being hooked into and drained where you yourself have not consciously agreed to this? What actually transpires and what actually takes place when energy vampires leech onto you and tag you and then try and destiny swap with you? Do you know what happens? Karma is so real. Karma is so freaking real that it will actually go out and fight your battles for you. Wherever it is, Virgo, that you may have been tapped into, whoever may have been harvesting your energy, whoever may have been siphoning your power from you, please know that the karma for that is that the energy from that person is now literally what is paying, funding, providing your dreams coming true for you. Literally tap in this energy if you wish to claim it. Otherwise, it slips through your fingers. When I said hot girl summer, I was not joking. Virgo, welcome into the hot girl summer of your lifetime. There is emotional contentment. There is a phase of your life where a lot of your emotions are literally pouring over. There is so much abundance. There is so much grace. There is so much regality because you're now back on the throne. Please expect a wildly lucrative summer, Virgo, because there is somewhere here where you are being put back on a position of power. You're being surrounded by all the abundance that you need. All of those that hooked and tapped and drained you previously, the plug has literally been pulled on that whole scenario. They don't even survive to make it through into the next timeline. So where it is people may have been trying to drain you or hook into you or siphon from you, that's illegal, right? And that's bad karma. And that's what a lot of people are going to be facing now that the roles are reversed because karma knows everyone's freaking address, okay? So here you are, riding off into the sunset. Here you are literally making dreams come true. June is such a mammoth month for you where you literally get to say goodbye to all of the things that you know were draining you of your good fortune, of your good luck, and all of the things that wanted to take place for you. Now, you may have been delayed, but you may have been sidetracked, but you were not taken from. There is so much, Virgo, that is going to show up for you in the month of June. There is so much that you are going to be regrowing. There is so much that you're going to be regenerating. There is such a revival in your spirit, in your energy, in who you are and how you are, right? This is the time that dreams come true. This new moon that's going to be taking place on the 14th, Virgo, please make sure you've got an active, brand new manifestation list. Please make sure you've got a manifestation list because trust me, the way June plays out for you, there is this dynamic, this fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, and there is you. And there is this energy of a lot of emotional abundance overflowing. Now, this really is a stark contrast to how you may have been really kind of limiting yourself. It's a complete opposite of that now. This is sheer abundance, sheer regeneration. This is a hot girl summer, Virgo, where you're really going to be finding that there are blessings overflowing. There is so much abundance. There is such an opportunity for you to be really lucrative in where you may have been stuck previously. Capricornian energy. Virgo, there may have been a deliberate attack on your finances. There may have been a deliberate plugging into you to drain your finances out of sheer jealousy. But what I want you to know is that the way that you overcome that this June really is going to put a lot of people in the same place that they wanted to see you in. So Virgo, this month, if you see people actually like paying for the damage that they have done to you, please don't be surprised, because I feel like a lot of people may have done it to keep you deliberately stuck. And what happens is karma is so real and no one gets away with that shit. Because there's this whole I want to call it a pandemic, where people believe that they're God, which means they have every authority to do as they wish, as they want, without any like karmic consequences. But none of that is actually real. So what happens is when people try and siphon and tap into your energy, and then they might get away with it for a while, but then when they realize their own shit is fucking up for them and they're losing their own blessings, people learn the really hard lesson of not doing that ever again. So Virgo, keep your karma clean, because if you are willing to do the right thing to set yourself free of hooks, drains, and siphons, if you're willing to do the right thing to unstuck yourself, if you're really willing to look at what these hopes, dreams, and wishes are for yourself, and then ride off into the sunset with the hope and knowing that right now in this month you are really supported. As the planets prepare to enter your sign, you're being put back on a throne of abundance, where you're even being told that this can be an exceptionally lucrative time for you if you're willing to be grateful for all of the feelings of contentment, because that's actually what's coming through to you right now. Queen of Swords, Gemini energy, Gemini new moon, and the Two of Pentacles. You're going to have to be very intellectually savvy about getting caught up in loops. Karmic loops, Virgo. In the month of June, this new moon is indicating to you where it is that you may have stuck yourself. Now, Virgo, you are mutable earth. That's combustion. You are electricity. You have to think about where it is that the previous circuits that you may have been wasting energy on, how they are no longer serving you. Because if an electricity circuit is stuck, there is going to be an explosion. So where is it that you can do yourself a favor and remain in the flow? Please be very conscious of the emotional flow that is needed of you this month, especially when you're being told to overlook things that may have been used as hooks and traps previously to keep you stuck into a certain loop, a karmic loop, a cyclical loop. Please be very conscious of where it is that you need to be very mentally assertive and really intellectually savvy, especially pre this Mercury retrograde, where you're really being asked, how is it that you're nurturing yourself now? Is it Empress level, or is it 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords level? Because a regeneration and a rebirth needs to take place. Now, this summer is all about that for you. If you're willing to get yourself off of lower vibrational timelines, that may not even be faults of your own. You may not even have been put here by yourself. But somewhere along the line, there may have been some form of gaslighting or NPC abusive control, something or another that has led you to this place where you have perhaps not been able to look at your full potential wholeheartedly. Now, this isn't a time for limitation. This isn't a time to be stuck. This isn't a time for the electrical circuit to have a block in it. If you're willing to do that, I'm going to run at 1,000 miles an hour this Gemini new moon, you will wholeheartedly race for freedom. And you know what, Virgo, the only thing I want to say to you here is, while Mercury is in Cancer before it goes into retrograde, if you're not talking to yourself like this Empress is talking to yourself, you're doing it completely wrong. Because this Mercury retrograde, this first up until 29th, is this period of time where you can genuinely romanticize life. You can literally put on those rose-tinted glasses and you can watch life overflow with blessings and abundance. If you're willing to tap into the energy of sacrificing time that are on a lower vibrational place and you no longer resonate with that. Virgo, do yourself a favor and get yourself off of any karmic loops, any repetitive cyclical behaviors or cycles that you have seen that you already know how they play out. Do yourself a massive favor. Be assertive and intellectual enough not to let yourself get stuck. Right, Virgo. This really is that season of free-flowing movement. June, the beginning of summer. What else does Virgo need to know? What else does Virgo need to know for June 2026? The struggle's done. You've already won. You might be a bit frazzled, but a lot of those people that tried to bring you down didn't succeed. If anything, you got a lot stronger in the process of it. Now really is the time for you to gather your energy, put that energy back into yourself, self-improvement, self-nurturing, making sure that you are here looking like this Empress, King of Wands. It's about liberation, Virgo, and the best way to feel liberated is to count every single blessing that you have and to be grateful for it, because the Sun card and the Star card is only assurance to me that where this June is taking you literally is riding off into the sunset. This is how we're starting summer, making dreams come true and riding off into the sun. Revived, revitalized, renewed, reborn, Virgo. There is somewhere where you do need to take extra care of your appearance and how you're nurturing yourself, especially while Mercury is Cancer and before Mercury goes into the sign of Leo. Okay, this Capricornian full moon is going to bring forward with it certain memories of where you may have been stuck. But the test is, have you learned the lesson, and are you willing to be assertive enough to get off of the karmic loop that you may have been put on deliberately to keep you stuck, Virgo? You've already won. That timeline's already been won. Every time you feel someone challenging you in a way that feels a little bit uncomfortable, you've got to remind yourself in the moment that timeline is already done. I've graduated that. Now, Virgo, I think that's the message that I have for June. Let's go into each sign, Virgo, and each sign. I'm going to pull a right away, and I'm going to pull one from the romance oracles. Let me know what sign you're waiting for. All right, should we start with Virgo and Aries? Let's give the deck a really good shuffle before we get into Virgo and Aries. Ooh. 3 of Wands. I'm going to take that for Virgo and Aries. Virgo, I think you need to expect some communication. There's some good things that are coming into this relationship, and especially to you, Virgo. These can be gifts. I feel like there is an Aries maybe bringing gifts, maybe coming forth after a period of not being around for a really long time. There's blessings coming into this situation, Virgo. Virgo and Aries. What do Virgo and Aries need to know? Virgo and Aries. You know, it's like, Virgo, you may have been putting in the hard work. You may have done lots of things and kind of forgotten that they were good things for Aries. And now I feel like there's this period of time in June where there's lots of blessings that are being brought forward to you, Virgo. There are lots of blessings that are being brought forward to you, Virgo, especially when it comes to this Aries person. I feel like there's lots of gifts and treats and good karma for things that you have already done. Yeah, I feel like this Aries is bringing you lots of gifts in June. Lots of sweet messages, lots of gifts. And Virgo, just receive it. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Virgo, it's so nice. I feel like be prepared to be spoiled by these Aries in June, because I feel like the two of you have a lot of romantic feelings towards each other, and I feel like it's a really nice time for the both of you to kind of sit down and explore how you both feel truly, genuinely about each other. And I think it's one of those period of times where you might be receiving a lot of love and a lot of gifts from this Aries, and I feel like it's time to receive all of them. Okay, Virgo and Taurus. If somebody would like to timestamp these, I would be very grateful. Virgo and Taurus. What does Virgo and Taurus need to know from me? What does Virgo need to know in regards of this Taurus? The Temperance card. So Virgo, you and Taurus are being given this opportunity to really work on this relationship, to really see what it is that you can do to go with the flow of things, really illuminate your crown chakra, really see what it is that you can work with the elements with when it comes to shifting from one state to the next when it comes to this relationship. This is a period of time where the both of you really do get to see what it is that the joint outcome is that you want, and what it is that you can do to maybe ignite the passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Virgo, I feel like you and this Taurus have this underlying passion. There is this undoubtable passion, and I feel like you need to reconnect to the passion in the relationship by reworking or changing things from where they are to being a more passionate kind of place. Virgo, that's what I have for you and Taurus. Virgo and Gemini. Remember, these do work for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury. Virgo and Gemini. Virgo and Gemini. I'm going to take the one that came up. That's the High Priestess. Virgo and Gemini, I feel like the two of you are reaching this point in your relationship where you're just so synchronized, you just so get it. And I feel like this full moon has really been a blessing in such a way that has brought the both of you on the same page. And I feel like it's through the thick and the thin, you're both experienced enough, you're both knowledgeable enough, you both know enough to know how to make this situation work out the best favor for the both of you. I don't feel like there is anything hidden. I don't think there is a level of immaturity. I think it's really important for both of you to stay optimistic about your love life, because positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So wherever it is in the relationship that you really needed to trust your inner knowing, I would strongly suggest that you go with that, Virgo and Gemini. Who's next? Virgo and Cancer. Virgo and Cancer. Oh, Virgo, look, the Queen of Pentacles. This is a really abundant time in this relationship, and I do feel like this is because your ruling planet Mercury is in the sign of Cancer, and I do feel like Cancer is one of those really nurturing, loving signs that intrinsically, Virgo, puts you in a better place than a lot of other signs, for example. I feel like this Cancer really does have the intention of nurturing you, and passion came out again. I feel as if whilst Venus is in Leo, it's going to be a very passionate time for a lot of people, but I do feel like in this relationship, while Mercury is in the sign of Cancer, not only is this person really passionately loving on you in the right kind of way that makes you feel so romantically alive, and it's putting you back on the throne that you belong on, Virgo. So I want to say work on the relationship, but where it is that the two of you can really enjoy the passion, I would say do that. It has to be a passion-oriented month, June, for Virgo and Cancer couples. All right, who's next? Leo. Virgo and Leo. What do you need me to tell you, Virgo and Leo couples? Virgo and Leo. All right, Virgo and Leo. Ooh, 2 cards. Actually, they came out in a clump. I'm not going to take those. Virgo and Leo. Virgo and Leo. Virgo and Leo, I'm just going to say this because you need to hear this. The readings that I've done for the pair of you recently, and the reading that I did for Leo yesterday as well, really does indicate that there is a lot of love in this situation. There was a marriage card that came out for Leo in some of the previous readings that I've done. If I'm talking to a Virgo and Leo couple, can I just say, can we just look at the level of love that there is between the two of you? Can we just look at the level of contentment and how happy the two of you make each other? There's this new phase that the two of you are going to enter in your relationship in the month of June. This is such feeling, this is such a resonating, beautiful time of emotional contentment in the month of June. Please be so grateful, okay, for all of the contentment that's coming into your life. Contentment's a really, really big feeling. Now, a lot of us take it for granted, but feeling discontent can really feel like a pinch in the ass, okay? So when you are going through this stage in life where God, where universe is giving you every reason to be grateful, healing family issues, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Okay, Leo and Virgo, there's this phase in your relationship that the two of you are so in love and so healing and so nurturing towards each other that you're actually, Virgo, getting to this place, or even this Leo is getting to this place where you're naturally healing. And when one starts healing their inner child because they're in that much of a mature, safe space in a relationship, like, can we just talk about the blessings? Like, you're literally tapping into just, you're unlocking blessings. Okay, imagine being in a relationship like that where the two of you are just so in love, where the love is so pure and the love is so good that you can heal parts of yourself that you may not have been able to otherwise. That's a big thing for me. I say, Virgo and Leo, make it official. Really do that. Make it official. Virgo and Virgo. Virgo and Virgo. Virgo and Virgo, you'll get married. Can we just talk about how serious this relationship is? There is a lot of emotional intelligence. And I think regardless of the up and downs and the distance and the, you know, the inevitable constant flux of life, the change that is always promised, there's this level of emotional intelligence between the two of you that is literally leading you both to the altar. So much marriage. Virgo, there is so much marriage written all over your sign for 2026. If a lot of you do end up in like seriously married, committed relationships, I want invitations to the wedding, please. Make the effort. Virgo, make the effort, please. Great love is worth taking the steps that you're guided to take. Virgo, if you hear me, this is going to be a very serious, long-lasting, committed, emotionally stable, emotionally intelligent relationship. You are being guided to take steps because it's great love, and great love is always worth the effort. And when it comes to you and this Virgo, take it to the altar. Again, another sign, Virgo, I'm telling you to take it to the altar with. And I mean that with like all due respect. Like, commitment is something that needs to be honored always. Virgo and Libra, what do you need me to tell you, Virgo and Libra? If you're in a Virgo Libra couple, put a scales emoji. Work on the relationship. Work on being emotionally stable in the relationship. Work on the emotional intelligence that's needed in the relationship. Work on the relationship, okay? June is that period of time where you'll really be asked to be really quite emotionally savvy when it comes to the work that's needed within this dynamic. Virgo and Libra, I feel like take your time with it. Work on what you know needs working on, but maintain the playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Okay, so Virgo and Libra, what I know about this pairing, because I've been in this pairing myself, is the two of you really know how to have fun together. This is undeniable, okay? You wouldn't think that Virgo and Libra are the kind of people to have like that kind of outrageous kind of fun, but they really are. They really are. And I want to say that if you're in this phase of your life where the two of you need to be a lot more emotionally stable, emotionally intelligent, and really ride with the flow of life, you've got to ride with the ups and downs. This really is that time now where you're being told, listen, dude, work on the relationship, which may mean that a lot of you need to go to therapy, or you want to take alternative therapy, or you need to spend more time with each other, or make it more about the quality time. But what I'm really seeing here is that you've got to bring back the playfulness. Okay, now if I know Virgo and Libra dynamic, the two of you can get buck wild really quickly, like partners in crime, no problem. Do it while you're working together. Does that make sense? All right, Virgo and Scorpio. Remember, these apply to your sun, moon, and your rising. Virgo and Scorpio. What do you need me to tell you, Virgo and Scorpio couples? Okay, Virgo and Scorpio. Don't hide how you feel from each other. Be honest. Too much like keeping things to yourself in a relationship, which I don't think serves anything of anyone. Virgo and Scorpio. Get your head right. 2 messages of the same thing. Roll your sleeves up and get to work on this relationship, okay? Focus on your own garden, Virgo, when you need to. And really see what it is that you need to do to maintain your own personal economy. There is something about you needing to work on yourself and forgiving and learning. Okay, Virgo, in this relationship, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in the present moments. Okay, Virgo, I feel like there may have been certain things that have happened in this Virgo Scorpio dynamic that really forced you to spend more time looking after yourself and who you are and working on you and what you bring to the table and what you are to yourself in this relationship. You might have to forgive this person because they are giving you this opportunity to learn more about who you are and forgive parts of yourself and forgive parts of your past and things that may have happened to you that may have brought up certain things and feelings that may have had you feeling a bit insecure. Virgo, before you work on any relationship, please work on yourself. You and this relationship with this Scorpio may involve forgiveness and it may involve learning. But what I really hope you learn from this relationship is that you've got to take care of you and you've got to nurture you. You've got to protect your finances. You've got to make sure you're right 101% of the time. So Virgo, before you pour any more energy into anyone else or anything else, pour it into yourself first and foremost. And then try and see what you can do to release and heal the past. Do not open the doors to trauma to yourself. And do not overdo it. You don't have to do your part and somebody else's part in the relationship. Let people do their part, okay? Because it really quickly gets super fucking resentful. And next thing you know, it's turned into a whole shit show. Virgo, work on yourself. Grow what you need to grow within you so that you are secure and stable enough financially as well as emotionally. So where you know that you need to forgive and you need to release and you need to heal, let that be the work that you're doing in June when it comes to this Scorpio. Okay? All right. Virgo and Sagittarius. Whew, that was deep. Virgo and Sagittarius. What does Virgo and Sagittarius need to know? Blessings on 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 blessings. You guys are so abundant together. I love mutable couples. Like, that mutability dynamic for me is so spot on because you guys are at this pace. You guys can run together and you guys can have the same priorities together and you guys can literally be power coupling enough to know that this is such a beautifully abundant raining dinero. Right? Raining abundance. June is really abundant for this couple. Could be expected or unexpected. No, I feel like this is an expected pregnancy. I feel like some of you may even have been waiting for this baby. I feel like a lot of you are getting keys to brand new cars, brand new homes. You guys are literally being blessed with a lot of abundance. But Virgo, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And I feel like Sagittarius is one of those energies that really looks for people that love themselves, because Sagittarius has a lot of love for themselves. And retreat. It's time for you to disconnect from the world. And I like that because it's almost like, okay, here's all of this abundant blessings, Virgo. Love on you because that makes you attractive. But also it's time to kind of disconnect from all of the external shit and come back into the safe space of the relationship. All right, Virgo and Capricorn. Virgo and Capricorn. Virgo and Capricorn. I'm going to take that, but let's take another one. So Virgo and Capricorn, I feel like, again, this is a really abundant month for the relationship. Now, that's not surprising considering the fact that Venus is going into Leo. This is that kind of big energy. This is mafia boss energy. And I don't know for what reason I'm literally getting that vibe. Capricorn and Virgo, It's blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings. You guys know how to make money together. And there is some information that comes forward in regards to where you may have been missing a trick in this relationship. I feel like it's just more abundance. It's more making money together. It's everything to do with what you can do with changing the situation once you receive the information that may have been missing. There is somewhere, Virgo, that you may have been stuck a little bit too much on what is the state of things, that you've not been giving yourself enough room to receive the information that you've needed to take a new perspective. Virgo, stop focusing on all the things that you don't want and focus on calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you two together. So Virgo, where is it that you really need to take the focus on of all of the shit that you don't want and really use this new moon that is naturally going to open you up in terms of information? There is somewhere where you've got to do a little bit more research. This relationship is naturally blessed, and I don't know what's going on with my hair right now, but yeah. You're gonna have to really take your focus off of what you're seeing. And instead of putting your focus on shit that you don't want to see, what is it that you can do to be more productive, more proactive, to pray on it, to affirm on it, to visualize on it? What is going to help bring you two together? Stop focusing on the shit that you don't want. Literally stop focusing on the shit that you don't want. The information that is coming forward to you is really going to help you be a lot more abundant within the dynamic of this relationship. But you've got to get your mind right first, okay? Don't focus on the shit. Focus on what you can do to be proactive about the situation playing out in the way that you want to see it play out in, Virgo, if that makes sense. All right, Virgo and Aquarius. What does Virgo and Aquarius need to know? Ooh, there's a form of justice and balancing out scales that's taking place within this relationship, Virgo. There is somewhere where the two of you are literally being the voice of reason, or there is going to be a voice of reason within this relationship. And where it is, Virgo, I feel like this justice really is in your favor. Where it is that scales may have needed to be balanced, Virgo, I feel like this is where you get that opportunity to really see what you can do to be a little bit more fair in the situation, or receive fairness that you may have not been receiving up until now. Virgo, what is it that you can do to be the voice of reason? Just remain very cold and detached if it's something that is emotionally a bit up and down. Ooh, okay, hold on one second, Virgo. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. But Virgo, you deserve love, okay? Because you are lovable. And trust, the situation is calling for you to have faith. Virgo, I really feel like it's time that you kind of balanced a few scales out for yourself. I really don't think you should be putting yourself in a situation where you are not receiving the love that you deserve. Because if I know anyone, Virgo, more than any other zodiac sign, from my experience, not from anybody else's experience, from my experience, Virgo, you deserve a lot of love. Okay, now if you're willing to tap into that, go right ahead. But where there is unrequited love, why are you putting yourself in a situation like that? Especially if it is tipping your balance. And now I know Virgo's nervous system. Virgo, anywhere that you are made to feel like you're not good enough, you can literally run with that and cause yourself a whole bunch of damage. So Virgo, if you're in a situation where the scales have been imbalanced, where there hasn't been any justice working out for you, where you know that this person is not necessarily appreciating you for who you are, please know one thing, that if you are willing to understand that you are lovable and that you deserve the best, especially if you're putting out the best, then please have faith and please trust that if you're willing to bring the balance back to yourself, if you're willing to be the voice of reason, and if you're willing to accept the fact that you are lovable, regardless of how somebody else makes you feel, regardless of somebody else thinks you're attractive or not, how ugly are they to be putting you in a place like that? Think about that, Virgo. I don't tolerate that from no one. I don't tolerate that from nobody. If somebody's making you feel less than, then what does that say about this person? Why are you even with them? Because you are lovable. And the minute you decide to trust the fact that you are lovable, this bullshit about being in relationships where there is unrequited love, like, that is tipping your scales. You've got to understand that that is not you being reasonable. Be reasonable with yourself, Virgo. Be the voice of reason for yourself. Bring the justice to yourself. If there isn't enough chemistry, if there isn't enough attraction, this is your prompt to go and make yourself more interesting. And this is your prompt to go and make yourself more attractive. Not because somebody else is telling you that they don't feel attracted to you. Not because somebody else is making you feel like a piece of shit. But because you owe it to yourself. Don't ever, ever, ever tolerate anybody making you feel less than. Because you know what? 99% of the time, that is one insecure motherfucker who's literally only projecting their own insecurities onto you because that's how they feel better about themselves. So Virgo, if this is a situation where somebody has been tipping your scales, somebody hasn't been making you feel worthy, somebody hasn't been making you feel like you are loved and lovable, then you need to kick that person's ass straight out of your apartment because they don't deserve you. They don't deserve you. But one thing that is saying to me is this is an invitation for you to make sure that you are attractive enough, that you are interesting enough for you. And if anybody else doesn't think so, then Virgo, what are you even wasting your time with that person for? Think of your nervous system. Por favor. All right, Virgo and Pisces. I don't know where that came from. Virgo and Pisces. All right, Virgo and Pisces, what do you need me to tell you? Other than all of that, we're not going with that. Virgo and Pisces. Virgo and Pisces, what do you need me to tell you? Knight of Cups. Okay, so Virgo, there is a Pisces that is making their way to you with some form of communication. There is a Pisces who wants to speak to you. They want to make you a serious offer. And I feel like they are very, very sexually attracted to you also. I feel like this person wants to take action in the situation. They're bringing forth a cup of love. It's a very emotionally serious conversation I feel like that they want to have with you. This person is very, very sexually attracted to you. I feel like this is a masculine. I feel like this is a masculine energy that's bringing forward some form of communication, some form of action that they're taking towards you, Virgo, and playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So Virgo, this is the complete opposite of Aquarius. However, the trust card was still there. The situation is calling for you to have faith. Virgo, someone is bringing forward some form of an emotional offer that I think you're going to find has a lot to do with them taking a lot of action that you may have wanted them to take or they haven't been taking, but now they're really taking it. Virgo, it would behoove you. It would really behoove you to take a very playful and trusting approach to recapture your own innocence, inner youthful spirit of fun that needs to shine right now, Virgo. Can we just highlight this? Because a lot of people forget that this is literally the most important part of relationships. Like literally, who are we in relationships? What are we attracting in by who we are being in relationships? Pay attention to how you're coming across. Pisces is one of those energies. It encompasses all 12 signs. Pisces, as someone who's been in a really serious relationship with Pisces, Pisces doesn't look for that serious energy. It looks for fun, frivolous, flowy kind of energy, not something that's stuck and dense and tough, right? So Virgo, it would really suit you when this invitation from this Pisces comes in, who you know just literally wants to pin you down. Trust and have fun and be in love, okay? Virgo, I hope you enjoyed that reading. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you everyone for your thumbs up, your love, your likes, your comments. You are all absolute superstars. You're going to change this world because you're literally that 0.01% of the world that is going to go out here after this reading and do amazing things. I know you are. I have so much faith and so much love for you. Go out and be amazing because you're an absolute superstar. I love you so much. Book a reading. Email me, rubyreadstarot@hotmail.com. We will meet next Tuesday. have a lot of fun. A lot of signs are a lot of planets are preparing to go into your sign, which is gonna illuminate you. It's gonna be a level up. There's been a lot of transformation this year, Virgo. Trust it. You're on the winning timeline. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. We will speak again next Tuesday. See you guys.